Welcome back, guys, to Crazy Hobbies Down Under. And on this episode, we're going to be showing you some soldering tips and show you lazy buggers at home how to solder the easy way. Just before we move on, people at home, if you're using a soldering iron, please be extremely careful. These things get very hot. You can hurt yourself and you can burn yourself. So please take extra care. Anyone that's under 18 and that hasn't used a soldering iron before would recommend some parental supervision. Alrighty, so let's get started. Now, a couple of mistakes what people make when trying to solder or trying to get some gear to solder. First one is, let's start with your soldering iron, guys. Now, we are using a scope. This thing is bloody awesome, very well priced. Thank you to Anthony, my favorite hobbit. Now, scope, there it is there, MH60, 240 volt, 50 HZ, 50 hertz, 60 watt. Okay, so mistake number one, guys, what you're doing is that when you're buying a soldering iron, you're probably going down to the $2 shop and buying like a 20 watt. Okay, and I've done this before. So what you want to do is you want a soldering iron where it's in between minimum 60 watt. I'm going to say to up to 100. Now that wattage, okay, the lower the wattage, what ends up happening is your soldering iron's not going to get hot, okay, and when it doesn't reach a certain temperature, nothing is going to stick, okay? So we're currently using a 60 watt. It's perfect for us. It gets hot enough. When you're buying a soldering iron, please make sure that you get a minimum 60 watt up to 100 watt, something that's going to get hot, and you won't have any problems when you're soldering. All right, so that's mistake number one, buying a low wattage soldering iron. Don't do it because it will be an absolute nightmare. You won't be able to get anything to stick. All right, so that's that. Now, your solder. This one here is solder core wire, and we've purchased this from good old J-Car, and it's 60/40. Now, what's that? 60 tin / 40 lead. All right, so it's got the tin in there, so it's gonna stick. When you're soldering, you don't need to use anything else. This will automatically just go on perfectly. All right, so mistake number two, make sure that your solder has got tin and lead. All right, and we're using 60/40 ratio. That's that. Now, you obviously got your little cleaner. You don't really need this, but when your tip gets dirty, you just whack it in there, give it a bit of a scrub, and it cleans your tip off, okay? And it's just smoother. Now, the other important thing, guys, if you haven't got one of these, all right, I'll even admit it, I won't be able to solder myself, okay? This is the carbon fiber soldering jig. This thing is awesome. They retail for around $20 to $30. You can find them on eBay. Your local hobby shop might carry it. This thing here, without this, it's basically impossible to solder, all right? You can jam all your plugs in here, put your bullet connectors in here, and it just sits there nice and easy. So that's that's a must-have also. And the last thing is you will need a steady hand, which I haven't got. All right, so let's move on to part two. Just before we move on, right, you have female connectors and you have male connectors. So we're just going to quickly explain this while the soldering iron heats up. Now, with your male connectors, all right, there'll be male and female. So female Deans, there'll be XT90 female, there'll be Traxxas female, and so on and so on. We're going to explain the difference between the male and female and what they're used for, okay? So with your male connectors, right, your male connectors are on all your electronic speed controllers, okay? So all your cars have male connectors, right? They have two prongs sticking out, okay? So all your ESCs have male, and your charge lead will also have male connectors. So if you're looking to change a car or if you're looking to change a charge lead, you'll need male connectors, and that's what they look like there, okay? The males, they'll be coming out. The females, they'll be going in. So that's what the males are used for, and the male plugs. And the females, I'll show you here, okay? The females are used on all the batteries, okay? And we'll show you what the females look like now. So female Deans, see how they're going in, okay? So if you want to change your batteries, you'll need female connectors. All right, so EC5, which is a very popular one, you see that, it's going in. XT90, in, same thing as the EC5, and Traxxas as well, it's going in. So female connectors are on all your batteries. All right guys, so we're just gonna be showing you with the battery side now. So you've gone home, you've bought your battery from your hobby shop and it's the wrong plug. So you need to change it. All right, so let's get started. You can get yourself a pair of side cutters. I just like using normal scissors. Now, when you're cutting batteries, guys, you have to cut one at a time, okay? Now, we see a lot of people doing these ones, okay? If you cut it like this, all right, that's conductive, all right? And if the positive and the negative touch this together at once, you're gonna get a spark. So what you need to do is, it's very simple, just first things first, just the positive, all right? Snip that off. Leave that one on there until you solder this on, okay? And only cut one at a time. So what you need to do is, you can get wire stripper, but I just like using the scissors as well. And all you need to do is just gently, want to get rid of that silicone, and then what you do is just peel it back, okay, and then the wire is exposed. And then what I like to do is, okay, I just like to twist it a little bit, so just keep everything together. All right, and now let's tin this. So you've got your jig now. I like to jam it right in there. Okay, hold it in there. Now what I like to do is just put some on the tip first. Okay. Now let's zoom up. All right, so we're gonna put some solder on the wire, and it's called tinning. So what I like to do is keep it on there. Okay, I've got some solder on the tip there. I'll just apply some more. All right, and then just gently on the wire, okay, as so. Let it go. All right, give it a sec. Then what you want to do is, just want to make sure that that solder has gone all the way around. So let's have a look. So you can see there, it hasn't reached the other side, all right? So it's, see that, that's all tinned. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to quickly drop some solder on the other side. So I'm going to turn the wire other way around. Okay. I'm just going to drop some more solder on that side. Give it a bit of a clean. And then just feed some on there. Okay. That's it. So when you tin it, it's the solder comes on the top, but it doesn't reach the bottom. So all you got to do is just rotate that wire around and tin both ends. So if we have a look at it now, it would be pretty much perfect. Just get it to zoom. You see that? See how nice that looks, guys? It's got like a wet look to it. When it's got a wet look, you know you've done a good job. All right, so there's a bit too much on there, but what you can do is you can clean that off. Focus, focus. All right, so what I'm going to do is, camera focus first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that excess solder out. So what you do is just put it back on your soldering iron, go around, hold it below it. So there it is there. There's the excess. Have a look at it now. There's no big blob on one side. All right, so now you've tinned the wire. This is very important, guys. So when you whack it on your plug, you've actually got to tin the plug as well, which we're going to show you now. All right, so let's move on to the EC5 connectors. And this is what they look like. Now these are a little bit hard to solder, guys. Focus. All right. You'll have your plus on this side and negative on that side. So it's all marked. All right, now just with your EC5 connectors, guys, there's a lot of aftermarket plugs when it comes to EC5. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you get the original EC5 plugs from E-Flite, which are these here. All right, and then you'll find that these work the best. So with aftermarket stuff, when you go to push them in to the housing, they don't go in properly. All right, and it's really hard to do. So I'd highly recommend, if you're going to buy EC5 plugs, make sure you get the original E-Flite ones. You won't have any issues. All right, so that's that. Now let's get started and show you how to solder. All right, so you've got the plug here. All right, you've got the short end on top, which you're going to be filling the solder. Okay, so let's do that now. Drop some on there. Now what I like to do is, guys, just put your soldering iron on the plug and then just feed that solder in and just keep feeding it in there. And then what I'll do is it'll just drip down into the plug. Okay, just give it a bit of a twist. Now when you're doing this, right, you want to be really careful. Okay, and try not to come all the way up to the top, because when you stick your plug in the bullet connector, right, that solder can spill out. If it spills out, you won't be able to push your plug in to the housing. Okay, so that's done. Now once you've done that, grab your connector. It's obviously tinned already. All right, and then what you want to do is we're going to just drop that straight in. And then when you drop it straight in, you want to hold that plug just straight up, not on an angle. All right, so get ready to do that. All right, just hold your soldering iron there, let it heat up. All right, just whack the plug on there, let that melt into it. All right, and once it's ready, just line it up. Keep that plug straight, guys. We'll show you in a second, and just wait till that dries up. All right, and that's all done now. So that's pretty much complete. All right, there you go there. Now, like I said, guys, if you end up getting any solder on the outside of this connector, all right, this bullet plug, when you go to push it into the housing, it won't go in. All right, so if there's any excess solder on the outside here, instead of wasting the plug, what you want to do is just get a hobby knife, okay, and just chip at it, all right, and just grind it all off, any excess solder on the outside of the plug, all right, and that way, when you go to push it in, it will go straight in. All right, so we're just going to show you now, quickly. So what you want to do is, we'll just quickly grab a flathead screwdriver, and then what you want to do is just be careful when you're doing this, guys. All right, you can hold that plug with some pliers. All right, and then just grab a flathead, and then what we're going to do is we're going to push that plug in to the housing, and then if you want to know if it's successful or not, you'll hear a click noise. All right, so once I push this in here, we should hear a click if it's successful. All right, so here we go, just on the edge there, you can see there, and then just push down. There you go. All right, so hearing that click, and you can see there, that's in properly. Okay, and that's it. That's how you solder the EC5s. They're a little bit tricky, guys. All right, now with the IC5 connectors, we'll just show you now. Now, the IC5, guys, is exactly the same as the EC5, okay? But the only difference, well, the difference is the IC5 plugs, you don't have to do what I just did, as in push the plug in. These are already pushed in for you, so these are a lot easier to solder, all right? So all you got to do is just drop your plug on there and it's ready to go. And it looks a little bit neater with the IC5s. They give you like a little clip, all right? And they just go on top just like that. Just with the IC5 connectors, guys, and the XT90s, all right, we'll give you a tip. Now, if you've got if you've got big wire, right, when you solder that on, make sure it's straight, all right? Or else, if that's on an angle like that, when you go to put the cover on, okay, it won't actually close up. So make sure when you solder these plugs that your wires are completely straight, and that way, when you go to put that on, all right, it just clips on. That will enclose like that. Okie dokie, guys. So good old Traxxas. These are the most hardest plugs to solder. All right, they're not easy. Now, battery side again. We're going to be showing you the battery side. All right, so this is what your battery side looks like from your Traxxas connector. All right, and then usually, depending on what connector you buy, you'll see like a little A down the bottom here. All right, and then you'll get these little connectors. All right, and you can see an A there. So the A will go into the A. Now, it's got nothing on that side. It's got the A on there. So what you want to do is, we're going to show you obviously, when you push your plug in, the A is on top, and then what you want to do is, when you push it in, all right, you solder on here, and then you push it in with the A on top, straight in. Now, the reason why these are hard to solder, okay, is see where the bottom of the A is, okay, and you see there's two little tabs on the side. When you're soldering the Traxxas connectors, you just want to drop just a tad, just on top here, okay, a bit of solder. Or else if that solder runs all the way down and goes past the bottom of that A and these tabs here, when you go to push that plug in, right, you won't be able to get it in there. So you've got to be really meticulous when soldering the Traxxas connectors. All right, so let's get started. So what you want to do is, when you're stripping the silicone back on your wire, you just want to nip it. All right, you don't want that much wire, just a tad. Okay, so we're going to show you now. So I'm going to cut about this much. That's all you need, guys. All right, that's all you need when soldering Traxxas connectors. Don't go any further down. All right, and what I like to do is just give it a bit of a twist. Let's quickly tin the wire again. So both sides perfectly tinned all the way around. Okay, nice and shiny, nice and glossy. That's what you want to see. Now, this is the hard part. Good old Traxxas. So just what you want to do is just sit it on there. Jam it in there like that. Okay. So as soon as that solder touches the bottom here, guys, all right, lift your soldering line up. All right, so just keep it on there. Gently, just pat it on. And that's it. Okay, right on that tip. There you go. All right, so that's ready to drop your wire on there now. So let's do that quickly. Grab that, and then you just want to sit it on top there like that. Here we go. And that's it. There you go. So it's well below the A, the bottom of the A, and well below from these, okay? That's what it's supposed to look like. Or else you go past this, you go to push this plug in, won't go in. All right, so that's that. So let's quickly line this up. Okay, so you got red positive, A on top. Just give it a bit of a wiggle. That'll go in. And then once again, guys, you can hold this with pliers. And the same thing applies with this plug, okay? You can get a flathead, get somebody to hold this with pliers, because if you slip while trying to push this in, you can hurt your hand, okay? Here we go. You should be able to hear that click noise when pushing that down. All right, so here we go, guys. There you go. So that's in there like that. Okay, and then, yeah, the same thing will apply. Once you've done that, bring that wire back, tin that, and do exactly the same with the other one. Grab another A, and then whack it in. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. We like to hear from yous. Please comment, let us know. Share your ideas also. If you want to see anything in particular on the channel, please let us know. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and like the video. Help our crazy family grow. I guarantee you there'll be a lot more crazy things coming on this channel. We love you all from down under.